No, I'm glad you called. This is nice.
Yeah, I am too. I really miss this.
Hey, Dad. Remember when scored all those touchdowns in the state championship game?
Yeah, I love it, man. I was really proud of you then. Love you, son.
Love you too.
But that's not how the reunion really went down. You see, Timmy never played in that state championship. He never even made the team. You see, his parents suffered from crippling debt and skyrocketing inflation, and they were never able to buy that nice new house on the east side. Their debt led to marital stress, culminating in a messy divorce, leaving Timmy to raise himself while Mom was working 3 jobs. Let's see how the reunion actually went down.
Give me your phone and your wallet, old man.
I don't have anything on me, man.
Hurry up!
Timmy? Is that you?
Dad?
Tim, I've missed you so much. It's been 15 years.
I've missed you too. Now give me your money.
Don't let this happen to your family. Call American Financing. American Financing is helping homeowners save an average of $800 a month. And there are no upfront fees to say how much you can save. And if you sign up today, you may even delay 2 mortgage payments. Call 1-800-974-6500 today. Or go to americanfinancing.net/Crowder.
That was way hotter. That was a solid 20 degrees hotter.
Worked.
Oh, I had to stop with the hot beverages. Glad to be with you. We have a lot to get to this morning. If it sounds like I'm moving quickly, it's because we have Alex Jones on the show today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have him on the show. And a good lead into that is, you know, people now are saying, hey, conspiracy theories are really just truths, add time. So we're going to go through the top 5 conspiracy theories that have turned into reality. Oh, I have to adjust my headphones. They're a little bit low. I don't know why.
It's you. Yeah.
So top 5, in my opinion, and I would love for you to comment below, which conspiracy theory turned out to be true that had the biggest impact on you? And by that I mean, did you start being more mistrustful of government? Did you start giving more credence to quote-unquote conspiracy theories? And believe me, I'm not saying that because some conspiracies have proven to be true that it means the earth is flat and we didn't land on the moon. That's not what I'm saying. And that's the sound of the comment section going nuts because of 5 brigaders. Going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about Caitlyn Clark, the basketball player. Mm-hmm. Now she's trying to go woke. She's bending the knee because she's afraid of the marauding, angry black lesbians, is my theory.
There's a lot of them.
And right now it's just a conspiracy theory. But I bet you in 5 years it'll prove to be true. She'll be like, yeah, I didn't want to get my ass beat.
More.
Or she got a new agent.
Yes.
Yes.
That, and we have some news to get to, too. Just a morning news roundup this morning. We are going to announce at the end of the show the brand new mug. Those who were Mug Club, now Rumble Premium. We now have a co-promotion mug between Rumble Premium and Mug Club. So, you know, the OG mug is gone, but we have a new one for you. So I think I got it all. Captain Morgan, CEO, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
This virus is going around the office. And
it just kind of lingers, too.
I'm telling you, I think the clear has, like, I don't have any symptoms aside from I have a fever, but my nose is clear. But I just have a fever at night.
I've done much better than my wife, but yeah, I use the clear all the time. So.
Well, that's because you keep checking her temperature.
Well,
and when you hear this,
she's hot.
It's Josh Firestine, December 21st, Bricktown Comedy Club, one of my favorite comedy clubs in the country. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'd like to say a shout out real quick. My dad, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Oh,
nice.
Somewhere in his 60s.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you did your research.
Yeah, you care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you.
You're a good son.
Thank you.
Put a number on it.
I'd like to hear it from him someday.
That's not going to happen.
All right, Mr. Chapin.
Okay.
A lot going on in the news, and we can't hit all of it. You can comment. You think Jay-Z did it? Now, we'll talk about that tomorrow, because we're chasing down some leads there. And by that, I mean, yes. Now, You know what? Let's just make sure we hit all the stories that we need to. It's time for a morning news roundup. Didn't know which way we wanted to go with that.
It seemed too corporate.
Yeah.
We had to mess with it a little bit, yeah.
That's when we had a consultant come in who was working for News Corps. He's like, you got to do it this way.
Okay.
Oh, I get it. You're just looking out for the folks. Now, first story, the left-wing media has completely collapsed. Since the election, ratings are awful. And I mean the kind of awful where if they were not working hand in hand with big government and big tech, they would no longer exist.
Yeah.
So MSNBC is down 22%.
Jeez.
Their primetime numbers just since October. Fox is even down 16%, which is
up
16. Oh, sorry, up 16%. Sorry, I'm sorry. Like, admonish me.
Admonish.
I meant to correct
There we
that because I had
go.
MSNBC, CNN down 13%. Fox.
Admonish.
Fox.
You're not supposed to enjoy it so much.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what happened.
It's almost as much as I enjoy you taking my temperature. Which one's oral?
Yeah.
So, from the mouth, Ralph. 16% Fox News is up. And these are just primetime numbers. If you look at the overall numbers, they are absolutely abysmal. Less than you watching right now because they measure it through a different system. CNN, by the way, was so bad last week that it finished behind the Food Network. Their primetime viewership was 360-something thousand viewers. So to give you an idea, that number was worse than, the Food Network. Also, the History Channel, HGTV, and Hallmark Mysteries.
Wait. Hallmark Mysteries? I thought they only did like the cheesy Christmas movies.
I don't know, but either way, Melissa Joan Hart is getting a royalty check.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true.
And History Channel, this is the place that, by the way, did a whole documentary on the veracity of mermaid claims.
And like 70 seasons of Ancient Aliens.
Yes.
No.
By the way, I don't know if you know this. They're still hunting Hitler. So, and this is, this is one of those things that we've told you this. When 2020 happened, that election, we watched it with you. More of you signed up for Mugla. More of you tuned in because you were galvanized, right? That's the big difference between the right and the left. The left, they're front runners. If they don't see themselves as the big dog, they deflate. Like a bully. They're a bully. Their bullying didn't work, and so now they've gone back into their cave. They're scared. They may regroup, but I don't know if they recover from this. And I also don't know what CNN expects when they're creating content like this.
I might be deported because I'm a naturalized citizen. And Stephen Miller, who is Donald Trump's deputy chief of staff, has said that they're going to embark on a denaturalization program. So I could be deported. My citizenship could be taken away.
Good.
And my children could be deported because they have birthright citizenship. So this is not what the country voted for. Let's be very clear. Americans voted for Trump because of groceries, because of lowering costs. He has not talked about that one bit. What this country did not vote for is to deport the 11 million undocumented immigrants who do critical work for our economy, who have injected $7 trillion into our economy. And what Americans want is a solution to immigration.
I'm sorry, did that walking pair of MC Hammer pants just say that Donald Trump never talked about immigration and deporting people?
Wrong. I'm pretty sure that was a main tenant.
It was almost,
yeah.
it was almost like it was an issue that he's been talking about since before he ran in 2016, and you called him racist, and now he has overwhelming public support,
right,
including from Hispanic Americans, to deport people. And by the way, there's a huge difference between birthright citizenship, where people go, oh, touchdown, baby. Isn't that great? Now I have an anchor baby. And going through the naturalization process, where many of those people know more about the United States than people born here in this country. I know quite a few Cuban Americans who came in. They are more proud to be American, and they know more about civics than people here in this country. So they try and expand this threat to something that's not real. I don't think anyone's buying what they're selling. It's not just that they're liberal, it's that they're dishonest. And what do you think even a liberal tunes in and thinks? They go, okay, hold on. Well, I agree with you, but wait, you just said Donald Trump didn't talk about deporting people. Right. You were complaining. You told us we should all be afraid before the election because he was racist, going to deport. Even people who agree with CNN can't watch them anymore. Here's another story. The Daily Wire, actually, maybe up for sale, maybe not, was reported that Fox Corp was looking at acquiring some conservative or right-leaning podcasts like All In, Megyn Kelly, The Daily Wire, I believe there was a statement that said, Daily Wire is probably not up for sale, but it would be $1 billion to buy it. So it said, we're not closed off to an offer. Jeremy Boring, their CEO, said it's easy to imagine a strategic partnership with Fox or someone like Fox that could be mutually beneficial. I think that we complement Fox and don't compete with Fox. Who knows? I know Brett Cooper just left there. So there are a lot of shakeups happening right now in media. Another big one, we'll have him on the show later. Alex Jones just had a big win yesterday. And he's still been broadcasting. So I think a lot of people don't understand how bankruptcy works.
Yeah.
Exactly. They just think it means, everything shut down immediately. You're going through a process. This was a political witch hunt. It'd be interesting. I don't know if this could qualify for some kind of a pardon, but it would be fun.
I don't think there's a bankruptcy pardon, but that would be pretty funny.
I know. Just something, step in and blackmail.
We're going to give him $1 billion.
Yes, exactly.
Just reverse it.
So there was a judge who blocked The Onion, right? The Onion wanted to purchase, who has become increasingly left, The Onion. As they have been split and sold and purchased, they went from a satire news site to becoming a parody of themselves, which allowed the Babylon Bee, the more reasonable version, to emerge. That's how irrelevant The Onion has become. Once upon a time, they were very funny. They wanted to buy Alex Jones's InfoWars, really just as kind of a troll job, and a judge blocked it, which I believe we have a clip of Alex Jones.
Rolls out the same barrel his father used.
Sorry, it's easy to make that mistake. Here's the clip.
Barrel chested.
A U.S. judge on Tuesday stopped the parody news site The Onion from buying conspiracy theorist Alex Jones's InfoWars website. At the end of a 2-day hearing in Houston, bankruptcy judge Christopher Lopez rejected Jones's claim that the auction was plagued by collusion. However, he ruled that a November bankruptcy auction did not result in the best possible bids, because the trustee running the auction failed to encourage back-and-forth bidding between The Onion and a Jones-affiliated company, which was the runner-up.
So Alex actually addressed this on X this morning, which is just funny. You don't think of Alex Jones as like a morning guy, but his head pops off the pillow, and he's Alex Jones.
Like at full tilt.
Yeah, immediately.
Like, coffee is not necessary.
Yes. I said I want a breakfast in bed. I want to thank everyone who has stood with myself and the InfoWars crew as we weathered the total deep state assault in the last 9 years. I could not have done it without any of you. I salute you, Alexander Emmerich Jones.
His middle name is Emmerich.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Typically, that's when people become assassins that we call them by their full name.
Yeah. He's going to be joining us here at the end of the show to discuss the judge's ruling, the future of InfoWars, and, some conspiracies. I don't know if Mission Control pulled that clip, the funniest clip from the courtroom drama. That
They're still looking.
They're looking.
He can't help himself but be Alex Jones. Before we move on to Lily Phillips here, we did talk about this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
AmericanFinancing.net/Crowder. Let them help you save hundreds of dollars a month on average. No upfront fees. You can close in 10 days. I've been through this process. It is extremely difficult right now. Make sure you have an expert in your corner. Just go to AmericanFinancing.net/Crowder. And Gerald.
The NMLS number is 182334. The number we always have to say for some unknown reason.
But they can still do pharmaceutical ads. So I don't know how it works.
1823. Is it 182334?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Lily Phillips. What do you think, Josh?
Whoa, that's quick. I think. Whoa.
I didn't know. I didn't have a segue.
I don't have anything nice to say.
I didn't have a segue.
My mom told me if I don't have anything nice to say.
Piece of human garbage.
Yeah. Thank you, Vicky, for the assist.
So, look, I want to be clear about this here. We talked about this last week, and many of you tuned in, and many of you sounded off. Lily Phillips, right? She's the woman who is planning to sleep with 1,000 guys in 24 hours. Yeah. Now, I know that it may seem like I was harsh on her, and I think it's deserved, because I think a lot of damage is done with this, certainly to young women. I think the porn culture is damaging to it's damaging to young men, too, and we'll get to that. But if you look at a lot of the comments here, there was a recent documentary released when she slept with 100 guys in 24 hours. I think it's important as Christians for us to remember that, look, if we don't believe that people can be redeemed, and that doesn't mean that your past is erased, doesn't mean that it's not an indicator of future behavior, but if we don't believe that people can be redeemed, then we serve a useless God, right? That's the entire basis of our faith, is confession, is redemption, and the fruits of the tree. So it does rub me, I would say all of us here the wrong way when people I get you want to dunk on someone. And yes, you need to showcase evil for what it is, especially when someone is promoting it to other people. But to act as though this person cannot make better decisions moving forward, I don't necessarily think is helpful, because then you close the door to what it is that hopefully we're all fighting for and striving toward in the first place. So this week there was this documentary. I warn you, it's pretty heartbreaking. And this is where you see, when the curtain is pulled back, a lot of, and you know what, you would see the same kind of heartbreak for fat pride activists, for a lot of abortion activists, people shouting their abortion. You see this with a lot of trans activists who then want to detransition, right? You don't know how the story ends. And in the media, we give the attention, or I should say the media does tend to give the attention to people in the middle of their biggest mistakes, because that gets the clicks. And you don't tend to hear about either the redemption or the fallout, the fractures that have taken place after, through choosing that kind of a life. So this is a portion of this documentary where Phillips, I believe Lily Phillips, is talking about the first time she slept with 100 guys in 24 hours. And you know, my heart breaks for her, and it breaks for anyone who would follow her lead.
I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by the, I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're gonna do this, and like it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal. Like when they'd kind of be like, oh, like we've only had 2 minutes or 3 minutes and you said 5 on the message.
Did someone say that to you?
Yeah. And obviously it just makes me feel so bad.
Do you think you should feel bad about that?
I guess when you've promised something to people who support you, it's kind of hard to let them down.
But it's up to you, right? Like when you know.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Pause it really quickly.
I think if you're a
I don't think she's being disingenuous there. There is a pathology for some people who have to actually be pleasers and really just crave acceptance, often because they weren't given the kind of attention or usually healthy masculine love growing up, where she feels bad for not allowing men who will never see her again or care about her. They're mad because they don't get to penetrate her for all of 5 minutes because she has to move on to the next man whore. So I want to be really clear here, too. These men who take part are awful as well. Let's just be really, really clear. And of course she wouldn't recommend it because she knows it's bad. She won't say that when it's the veneer out there. She's trying to say, no, this is my choice. I'm proud. She's not. It's very clear she feels bad about it, and this is why she wouldn't recommend it. Let's continue.
different type of girl. It's very like, it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different...
It's exactly that.
...feeling. I don't know how to explain it, like...
It's not like just having sex with someone.
Yeah. Just one in, one out, like it feels intense.
The word you're looking for is wrong.
Process, do you think, what's happened?
Not yet. God, I won't forget this day, Jesus.
Everything is about feel. And this is why you don't follow your heart. Because your heart can be easily led astray. Your feelings cheat. They lie to you all the time. And sometimes you even feel conviction, and you can cheat by stuffing that down and convincing yourself that there's another reality that's true. And so you see some of these posts on social from people saying, you got your 15 minutes, Lily Phillips, all it cost was your soul. She has no soul left. This shows how sick, and I agree, this shows how sick our society has become, but someone posting Lily Phillips probably end up killing herself if we're being honest. Look, and I'm not one to ever, I'm not outraged, I'm not offended. What I'm just saying is, you do see some of these people now who don't include the pursuit of spreading the good news, the pursuit of people being redeemed, and just want to dunk.
Yeah.
And you do. There needs to be shame. Because sometimes it's not about the person you're dealing with, it's about the people watching. And if she's going out and she's saying this is my choice and it's a valid choice for everyone out there, yeah, that needs to be shut down. But it also needs to be met with an alternative. Yep, the first thing Jesus did was point out people's sin, and it was go and sin no more. He didn't just hang out with sinners his whole life. He said, "Go." You think if they were still prostitutes, if they were still tax collectors, and I love that tax collectors were put in the same class as prostitutes in the Bible. You think
That's fair.
You think you would have been hanging out with them? No, but it doesn't mean that you revel in people destroying their life.
Right.
And a big part of this, just like we talked about with Jordan Neely, right? You see it manifest itself in different ways. What about the parents? Where are the parents? And there's an argument right now where people are saying, I think she's lying here. I don't think she is, which is even more troubling. According to this woman, her parents are supportive of being a prostitute, to use her words.
What is your parents' view on all this?
No, they're like so proud. Like, I generally have proof. My dad texted me like literally yesterday saying, I'm so proud of you, I love you so much. Like, they're fully supportive and things like that. My mum's actually like seen my OnlyFans. She sees what I do to like a certain extent, not the videos.
I was that must be a little uncomfortable.
Sending my mum my sex tapes, like, watch this.
Now, we were sitting here during run through going like, oh, I bet you they're not. Some people thought that maybe she's lying. I don't think she's lying.
Yeah.
I don't think she's lying. And that's a real problem. A lot of parents think that it's their job to just make their kids happy. I just want my kids to be happy. Well, of course you want your children to be happy. Of course you want your sons and daughters to be happy. But that's not your only job. Right? Happiness is very different from purpose, fulfillment, pleasure, virtue. These are different things. You can have pleasure that's, again, disguised as happiness, but it doesn't mean anything. And it's very temporary. You can be happy, meaning you're getting pleasure, from going through the entire horizontal row of Oreos. And then you can convince everyone that you're proud and people can be healthy at any body shape. But guess what? That's not actual fulfillment. That's not true happiness. I bet you people here, it would bring you pleasure to sleep with every single Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. I get it. Not that some people are going to say not all of them, but the point remains. But that wouldn't actually be fulfilling. That would be a violation of myself. And you have some parents, I just want them to be happy. No, your job is to raise your children and prepare them for the world so that they don't make decisions just based on short-term happiness. That's not the only job that you have as a parent. You don't want them to be miserable, but you want them to find happiness, to find fulfillment in things that are virtuous. We used to understand that. That's why we discipline children. And it wasn't considered unloving to discipline your children, whether it's a timeout or whether it's a spanking. Why? Because you know that behavior is not going to ultimately lead to a happy life. So I see this quite a bit. I was just watching A Christmas Story last night, and we're seeing the dad where he's like, "Getting back, Randy." And then then there's a scene where he's opening the Red Ryder BB gun, and Darren, I think Darren McGavin was the name of the actor, is watching his son, and he has this joy because he wants to make his son happy, that moment of happiness, but he also washes his mouth out with soap when he swears. Why? Because that's not how you behave. We don't do that in this house because it's not right. You need both if you love your children. Saying, go bang 1,000 guys makes you a bad parent, and saying, and you know what? Hold yourself out as a model for other women out there is really bad. Before we get into this discussion, and I want to give the floor to you, Gerald, look, this is not inconsequential. As far as being in porn, it's tied with higher suicide rates, depression, an astronomical drug overdose rate, incredible STD rates, right? 90% of porn stars have genital herpes. And then there's the dangers of consuming too much porn. You have erectile dysfunction in people who are younger and younger. You have increased rates of sexual violence. You have premature ejaculation. You have anxiety. You have people who no longer are able to find sexual satisfaction in real relationships. I'm not saying that thinking naked people are beautiful is the same. I'm talking about tab and a tab and a tab and a tab of hardcore pornography. Right. And the people who advocate for pornography, they talk about this commercialized capitalist society and Instagram and the shortening attention span and how damaging it is. For some reason, that all disappears when it comes to the world's greatest natural dopamine hit that we know of, which is sexual arousal. And before you say hypocrite, every guy here, I guarantee you, has either dabbled or watched a lot of pornography because it's 2024 and it's unavoidable. You want to make that argument? Okay, fine. It doesn't mean that these points are any less true. You have the floor.
So I agree. Like, it's really sad watching this time, right? Seeing this, I think is just very heartbreaking as a father. I don't have any daughters, but as a father, I'm thinking of my child and the time that I spent with them and then them going down this road. Like, that road does not lead to life, right? There's only death down that road. And I don't mean necessarily just physically, though that could be a possibility because of depression and all kinds of things that can come from this, regret. inability to find happiness in the future. It leads to all kinds of problems. But what I want to encourage people to do is, and we do this the wrong way most of the time, and I don't mean we, just like us on the show, I mean just in general, we stick with the truth. We're really good at telling people what the truth is. That's the dunking part, right? It's a terrible decision. You're a terrible person. This is the horrible thing that you're doing. I can't believe you're doing. That's the truth. But we don't have love that comes with it. You need the truth and love in all of these situations. It's really easy to go after somebody and say, this is a horrible person. But it's very hard to go, this is a horrible thing that this person is doing. And I am going to now pray for this person. I hope that there's redemption for this person. I hope that there is an aha moment where this person goes, my goodness, I have gone down this terrible road. I can't undo that, but I can at least turn away from that.
Yeah.
Right? And we don't do a very good job of that. And I think that's something that I'm sure I fall victim to online as well. It's very easy just to dunk on people, but praying for people, praying for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, praying for Nancy Pelosi, praying for people that you vehemently disagree with, praying for Putin to do better, right? Like praying for a dictator not to kill his
I pray
citizens.
for Putin to get a bigger table.
There you go. I mean, but he's already gotten that.
Yeah.
So, prayer's answered.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I think that's the part that we miss in all of this. And that's the heart that we have to find. We have to find our soul, because guess what? She may lose her soul, like you said in this. This may be something that she never turns away from. But you might lose yours as well in condemning her and not ever bringing the love to the table. So don't act like it's only on her. The people out there spewing hate and nothing but hate and nothing but hate just to try to get some clicks. Do you think you're any less of a whore? You're not.
Right. Also, something else that I would add, though, too. Yeah, I agree. But I also understand people out there saying this is going to be relevant to the future man that at some point she will want. Absolutely. I think that
That'll be hard.
Too many Christians
Really
are
hard.
too soft. Well, it's as far, the Lord has thrown it as far as the eye. You can't even see it. The sin. That's not true. That's not. God has. It is relevant to her future relationships. And this man. And then you run into feminism, where this woman who clearly didn't have a father is going to need to. I'm going to get people mad at this. Is going to need a man to train her. And by that, meaning a man. If there is a man out there, it's unlikely, who actually loves her and is willing to do the work, she's going to have to trust him and follow him and submit to him, because she doesn't know what she is doing. But we can't do that anymore either, because that's sexist. Guess what she needs? A little frickin' patriarchy. That's what I mean.
And
yes.
Well, she's in England. Islam is everywhere. So
That's
go
true.
around the corner.
So anyways, that's that documentary out there that...
Yeah, wait, speaking of documentaries, I just got the footage of an audition I did over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
What movie?
Groundhog Day 2. They're finally redoing
What?
it. Tim, do you have the footage?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready for the last audition for Groundhog Day 2. Is there a Josh Firestine out there? Okay, I guess that's a wrap.
You stupid groundhog! You didn't do that to me! What do you think you're gonna do? Oh, no, not the teeth! Not the teeth!
Hi, I'm Josh.
That might be why I have a sore throat.
Yeah, it might be. You're the one who started this.
You're gonna have to pay for that shirt.
Yeah, also the rabies shots for the office.
I'll have a fur ball.
And right now, we are going to, this is the first time announcing the unveiling of the new Rumble Premium mug. So we heard you. We've been working on this. You can bring it up there, Toolman. Boom! Rumble Premium. Here you go. It's a co-promotion mug. It's a little different from the OG, but you join, you get this mug. You can click that button below or louderwithcrowder.com/mug club. I don't know if we have Rumble Premium or just join on the Rumble channel. So Mug Club is Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is Mug Club, but you add Dr. Disrespect, you add all the other content. That's what supports Mug Club Undercover. None of that happens without you. The investigative journalism, $99 annually. Try it for $9.99 a month, but you only get the mug if you do the annual.
That's right. You only get the mug
because
if you do the annual.
it is expensive.
And we will email you. We've had to work on a new system to be able to claim your mug and do this. It's taken us a little bit longer, so just be patient with us. We'll email you. You'll be able to go and get your mug and get everything taken care of. It'll be fantastic.
And convert your Mug Club over there on Locals to Rumble Premium. It's free. There's a video up there where you just boom. Now you just watch on Rumble. You never miss a thing. You don't have to go off site anymore. It is so much more convenient. You can watch on your TV, on an app, or whatever. All right.
There you go.
Let's go to this really quickly before we get to conspiracies. Caitlyn Clark, white girl. Time named this broad her athlete of the year, and then it went from a nice story to woke in record time, which brings us to Gerald Knows Sports.
Wide open, he scores!
All right, Gerald, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
I don't see every time you say that.
But naming a woman athlete of the year is the silliest story of all time. But here you go.
And we are going to begin with the Athlete of the Year. Past winners include legends like Simone Biles, LeBron James, Lionel Messi. This year, they chose someone who truly changed the game in her sport. Times 2024 Athlete of the Year is Caitlyn Clark, obviously.
Obviously.
I don't know that it's obvious.
Obviously, it's the lady who didn't make the Olympic team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Josh. Look, this is an athlete. Like, if you're looking at it within her sport, having an impact on it, being kind of a cultural phenomenon. Like, there's all kinds of reason for that. But look, instead of just kind of like taking this moment and enjoying this moment, Caitlyn Clark did something that we tell people never to do. Never try to appease the woke mob, because they came after her very hard. And we've got a quote from what she said. They were coming after her because she was a white woman. And it's like, that's not why she's popular, guys.
Read her quote.
Because she's really good. So here's what she said. I want to say that I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there's privilege.
Son of a bitch.
I'm done. Bullshit. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been the black players. The league has kind of been built by them. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing.
It's actually built by the NBA.
It's
built by men.
It's built by men. Yeah,
it's built by charity, because nobody really wants to watch the WNBA, so it had to be propped up for a little while. Caitlyn Clark, you've done a great job of bringing it around a little bit. Of course, though, she's only kind of parroting.
Yeah, she feels that she has to now because the amount of pressure that she. By the way, it's 70% black in the WNBA. I don't know the percentage of lesbians. I would imagine similar. And
a 1-to-1 ratio, I think.
Yes, and for those of you who don't, this is the kind of rhetoric, and by the way, the kind of bows that she's
had to deal with.
Clark. It's called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary?
Yes, you check all those boxes, and she's straight, and she's white. Yes, this all makes up for what is considered to be a marketing phenomenon for a lot of people. And why did it take a Caitlyn Clark for all of this to pop off in terms of the conversation, the interest
Pause real quick. Let me ask you this, Jameel. How large of a market do you think there is for black lesbians?
Huge.
No, I mean, because she's white. Because, yeah, the majority of the country is white.
Straight.
Who do you think wants to watch black? No, let me be really clear. With men's sports, right, race doesn't really matter. Men watch men's sports because they want to see the best on earth. That's it. The whole reason my sports team is to say, hopefully ours is the best in the country, the best on earth. Women don't tend to watch sports as much. But how big of a market do you think there is for black lesbians? Because the only people who want to watch black lesbians play basketball at a mediocre level, I would imagine, largely black lesbians. You just answered your own question, and you look stupid. Let's continue.
In the WNBA.
And I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Seattle, and all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been.
Caitlyn's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP.
Violence.
Reality is coming.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma of against the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, the stigma. Like, at what point do you go, hold on a second. I don't give a rat's ass about your civil rights struggle anymore. Okay, you guys can't, black people couldn't vote. That's a bad one. That's on us. We get it. But we corrected it. Slavery, awful. But it was fixed, right? Talking about interracial. I get it. I understand. Okay, it was corrected. And then you get to, even if you want to get to gays can't marry, okay, fine, you make that argument. But at this point, you're complaining because people are choosing not to watch a subsidized league of lesbian black basketball players? Like, what do you think? Clearly they're not being stopped from playing. Like, there's no moment in that Disney movie like, let the black guy play ball. It doesn't happen. It's just, no one's watching it.
You know what the problem is?
That's not a stigma. It's uninteresting.
It is uninteresting. And the problem is it makes the news when a WNBA player dunks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we talked about
I'm
it
not
here
talking
before.
about a good dunk. I'm talking like, oh no, she got up. It's like, oh, that's a groundbreaking moment. Fantastic.
That's Air Butch. There ain't
It
nothing
is.
in the rules that says black lesbians can't dunk.
And look, Josh, I know that you and I have disagreed a little bit about this, and really, you don't even think she deserves the award at all.
No, because I mean, there's a lot of people who are more deserving, I think, and it just comes down to like simple thing. Humor me, if you will. Okay. Can we, Steven? Do you mind if we do a time travel thing? And you be 35 years in the future. You be Shohei Ohtani. I'll be your grandson.
Shohei Ohtani, you'll be like,
I'll be the grandson.
This is
You be
going
Shohei
somewhere.
Ohtani.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yes, I will.
And we'll time travel into the future. Grandpa Shohei?
No. Wait.
Grandpa.
Grandpa
Shohei?
Wait.
Are you?
Wait for Grandpa Shohei.
Grandpa Shohei?
Yes.
So you're saying in 2024 you signed the largest baseball contract in history, and then bridged the Japanese and American cultures by creating the most popular World Series broadcast, most watched of all time, and you hit 50 home runs, stole 50 bases, and won a World Series?
Hey, is he?
And you didn't win Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year?
No.
Well, then who won?
Great shame.
Who won then?
Basketball player who cannot dunk.
Oh, yeah, great shame indeed, Grandpa. Great shame indeed.
Yeah.
Your only option is seppuku, sudoku, seppuku.
Seppuku, yeah. Should have rehearsed.
All right, let's go back to. I'm sorry. By the way, don't think that that's our pitch to join Rumble Premium. That is not.
Listen, we can do
the best
better.
that we have.
I mean, not always.
As seen by the fact that I'm clearly still in the dark.
Yeah, Tim's working.
Yeah, you get one of those every couple weeks.
Also, it's also just the money. Like Caitlyn Clark, the average game as far as viewership, 1.78 million. WNBA, their average game was 394,000. I mean, that's like the Hallmark Mysteries at that point. And let's be really clear, too. Appeasing the woke mob is futile. It never works.
Nope.
Every time it's taken place and someone has tried to, guess what? They come for you anyway, whether it's the Cuomos, whether it's, I'm trying to think here as to who has done it at some point in time. You saw it with Zuckerberg. You saw it with Jack Dorsey. You saw it with Jeff Bezos. There's no way. It just doesn't work. Just be who you are. Just
Never
say, you know what? I'm really good. Make yourself the heel. Go, I guess I'm like Brock Lesnar.
I'm a jacked white boy. Deal with it.
Just say, I'm a good basketball player. I'm white. If that bothers people, all right, fine. I'm sure there are a bunch of butch-cutted black lesbians who are pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Tune in. Watch me smoke them. That's it.
You don't really watch it otherwise. And by the way, really great deals right now. Crowdershop.com. We've got a special. You got to go back up. I can't see the deck.
Well, I wanted to move on because we're running late.
I know we have to move on, but listen.
Just crowdershop.com.
It's on the lower third.
2 shirts, 2 hats
There you
for
go.
40 bucks. Go today. No promo code needed.
Let's go to this because this is something that is big in our culture at large right now. A lot of people feel as though, hold on a second, what else is not true? Because what is yesterday's conspiracy theory is today's accepted historical fact, and we're going to have Alex Jones on in just a little bit.
Oh, we just got a note on that. He had a little bit of a legal thing.
Oh, no, what happened?
He's okay. Don't worry, but he's not going to be able to join us.
He's not going to be able to join us?
No, he's not. He has a legal thing. I'm sorry. I just found out. It's not a sketch. I just found out.
No, literally 2 seconds.
Hey, before I do we have like a quick be right back? Don't we had that like an election or something we could put up for like 20 seconds just so I can talk with Joe? Because when I hear legal thing, my blood pressure just shot up.
He's okay. We're okay. Nobody's gonna die.
I'm just gonna hit this dump button for a second.
Okay, dump button for just 1 second, and I'm gonna find out what it is. All right, okay. It's all right.
Maybe.
I just don't like how cryptic you are with things.
Well, I don't want to give away too much information.
What are you? You're not a magician.
Yes, exactly.
What's in the box?
Now can I tell people to go to crowderchef.com?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the prestige.
Can I do it? Can I be the one in
No, I
charge
want to
of
get to the top
Thank
5
you.
conspiracy theories. So, yesterday's conspiracy theory is today's historical fact, right? And I want to ask you, which one opened your eyes the most? I've been through this. Look, I've told you guys that I used to be more of a libertarian, and I certainly thought, that sounds a little bit outlandish. I tried to approach everything as skeptically as possible and as logically as possible. And sometimes you kind of trap yourself with that, where you sort of look at the odds and you go, that just seems like there's no way it could be true. And then you find out, it is true. So let's go through this, actually. Top 5 conspiracy theories, in my opinion, that turned out to be real in curious coincidences. I think.
Maybe.
And the reason that these are important, too, is because they shape how we view foreign policy. They shape how we view our government. And the top one, number one, I will tell you, is actually not necessarily a conspiracy theory. It's just something that most Americans didn't know. And I found out later on, I was saying, do we actually do that? And it made me lose all trust in the virtuous nature of our government, which when I grew up, I kind of believed to some degree. Still a conservative, so I believe they should be limited. All right, number 5. This is one that you've probably heard of. The claim here is, well, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, right? The claim was that August 4th, 1964, that the Vietnamese attacked a U.S. naval destroyer, right, the USS Maddox, in international waters, and that led to the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, which involved the United States getting heavily involved in Vietnam, escalation, right? So this was a big catalyst for it. Like, oh my gosh, this is basically them declaring war on us. Here's the truth. The United States government claim was untrue as far as the attack. Mm-hmm. So the conspiracy was that was effectively a false flag. And now the left tries to gaslight you and say, oh, the term false flag, oh, you're using that. You don't believe that shootings happen? No. This was a false flag in that it was orchestrated, or the claim, by the United States government. There was collusion. And there was skepticism right away from naval officers, even President Johnson, who stated, hell, those damn stupid sailors were just shooting at flying fish. And in 2005, so you're going back to the Vietnam War, you're going back to the 1960s, and then in 2005, it finally gets verified. And they go, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. It was a false flag event.
41 years later, it's fine.
Hey, imagine if you find out 40 years from now that, I don't know, and I'm not saying this is the case, Vegas shooting was a false flag event. I'm not saying that it was. I'm just giving you context. Do you understand that there were laws that were changed, state laws in relation to that? Whether it's bump stocks, yeah. I'm saying taking something less consequential than the Vietnam War. You guys want to talk about time travel? What kind of alternate reality do you think we split off into if people didn't actually believe that? If it had been questioned at that point, if voices of dissent had not been stifled and silenced. Number 4.
I hadn't heard this one, by the way.
The Gulf of Tonkin?
No, I hadn't heard that it, so wasn't it the second attack that they were talking about?
The second
really
attack.
The false flag. So the first attack
was very small.
It was small, and it may not have been where they said it was,
right.
Maybe not in international waters, which makes a difference, I guess, to some degree. But I had no idea the second one was just like basically, it almost seems like, hey, deep state, let's go to war. Yeah, let's figure out a way to get in.
And in 2005, when they finally verified as a false flag, Vietnam veterans are still alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean they're lively, they're spry.
Yeah,
we had the draft because of this.
They're watching this and going, yeah, exactly. Some people were forced into this war, watch their best friends die right next to them.
Yep.
And then they're going, oh, thanks. How's my VA claim doing?
Right. Yeah, it dictates how we live now.
We got hippies because of this. Son of a gun.
It's true.
You bastards.
And by the way, all the references are available. Link in the description, louderwithcreditor.com. We do that every day. It's very important with these because I also know people can go down a rabbit hole and then say, well, then nothing is true. You know, gravity's not real. That's not what we're saying.
Test it out. Find a building, test it out. Let us know how it goes. One story.
Conspiracy theory number 4. Epstein Island. So here's what the left will do. They'll take something that maybe is false, that's similar. like some of the lore surrounding Pizzagate, right? Remember that? And they go, see, this is what you can't reason with these people on the right. They think there's some kind of secret cabal run by political elite who are sexually trafficking or abusing children and minors. That's what they did. That was their claim. There's no way this could happen. Well, here's a refresher.
So where did this conspiracy theory start? Apparently, some alt-right folks were combing through Clinton campaign emails hacked by Russia and published by WikiLeaks and noticed there seems to be more references to pizza and pizzerias than they had expected, which can only mean one thing: secret sex ring. There's a difference between a conspiracy and an
pictures of
agreement.
him at Comet Ping Pong.
And a conspiracy is what villains do. An agreement is what adults do. Look around the country. Wouldn't you agree we need some more adults? So WikiLeaks... Alex Jones, and these subreddit subgeniuses, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, grow the up.
You know who needed some adults would probably be those underage sex slaves at Epstein Island. And not only was no one reporting on it, but it was actually being buried when reporters tried to shine a light on it. I bet you they really would have liked some adults, Mr. White Knight. Yeah, I know you're talking about you don't like the fact that people on subreddits may have some theories that are incorrect, but to simply dismiss all of it while people are being sex trafficked, I don't know if you get to shout from your ivory tower, get up on your high horse. So this is where we were, right? 10 years ago, Epstein Island. It was basically a conspiracy theory, Alex Jones only. That's what we were told. Right-wing conspiracy about all the sex cabals. They put it all in one big pile. And the media, at that point, still gushed over Epstein, I would imagine, because of his powerful friends. Here's a 2003 Vanity Fair piece. I have to... my iPad is going absolutely nuts. What's happening?
That's a Siri thing?
It is. You're screwed.
Stop it, Siri.
Yeah.
Don't say the name.
It started listening when you said Epstein.
And it started listening.
No.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, it did.
So for guys, like you can see, like I have here, I don't really have prompter. I just have I have an iPad with notes when I read these quotes. And when we just mentioned Epstein, I'm not joking. You guys,
No.
It was
Epstein, it was Alex Jones. When you mentioned Alex Jones again, it finally came on.
Bing. Yeah, it just came on. Am I going to get arrested?
I think
Probably,
Alex,
let's be honest.
Alex has your iPad tapped.
All I know is this shirt is more relevant today than ever, and every day I get to say that. Like every new day, I'm like, he was right on more stuff. It's weird.
So it's not only that no one had an interest, just to give, there were people behind the scenes, and yes, Alex Jones saying this is going on,
right?
And then you had people like Colbert out there going, let's be adults. I just hate the evil of the left. It is evil. Yeah. Hey, remember they go, look, they want you to fear open borders. That's just that they say they're not bringing their best. Donald Trump says they're not saying that. Racist. Hold on a second. What about the sex traffickers? Do you realize there are more slaves right now on Earth than ever in recorded history? It's over 40 million. You know that, right? And a huge portion of them are sex slaves. You know that. More slaves right now on Earth. Total number than in recorded history. And you want to tell us to grow up? You're going to condemn the people who are trying to track down leads to figure out who's trafficking some of these sex slaves? Grow up. Maybe it's not a pizza parlor. Maybe it's a whole godforsaken island. And the media not only didn't cover it, they're writing puff pieces about Epstein. 2003 Vanity Fair. It's titled The Talented Mr. Epstein.
Well, hold on.
Ooh, I hated that Disney movie.
I was about to say, isn't that kind of a bad thing to do? Because wasn't the talented Mr. Ripley like a killer?
Yeah, but if you read the piece, it's relatively flattering.
But hold on. Didn't Tim, did you say there was a picture of Colbert?
I don't have it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a picture of him at Comedy.
What are you saying, though?
That he was at the place that he's...
No, I understand, but what do you...
Just stop it. Let's not derail it.
Yeah, thanks for derailing the segment, Gerald. That's real great.
So
you're welcome.
Keep producing.
Here's the truth. There was a sex island.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys know that. Like,
yeah.
We learned that in 2019. It's like, oh, yeah, there's definitely hey, adults have entered the building. Hey, there's a sex island here.
Did he ever say sorry? Did he ever apologize or retract? Or
no, none of these people did.
Did he ever say sorry? Apparently you were all grown the F up.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, this is the same media who buried the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal. Remember, that's how Drudge came to be, because every single major media outlet passed on it because they were doing the bidding of Bill Clinton. And a lot of powerful people. I mean, you have obviously the Clintons. You have a long list of people. It's always weird when you see a flight with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker. That's an odd combination. But I don't know if they went to the island.
Chris Tucker?
It was Chris Tucker. Chris
Hmm.
Tucker.
Don't touch his radio.
Yeah, it was Chris Tucker, Bill Clinton, and Kevin Spacey on the same plane quite a few times. I don't think they were doing anything, but just to be clear.
I love Chris Tucker's
It is
interview.
definitely a real place. And by the way, a lot of people here probably, it's well documented on camera, this place.
Oh.
Hey, that's why he's
guy.
mad.
That's not.
Let's go to conspiracy here, number 3. This one is, there are quite a few. There are sub-conspiracies, right, that have proven to be true with COVID. Again, all references available. The claim that COVID was a natural virus that mutated and absolutely was not from a lab. You were banned if you insinuated it. We were removed from social media platforms because we stated it. If you were an expert, even when they used to say, well, are you an epidemiologist? Well, no, I'm not, but there are plenty of epidemiologists who actually say there's no way that this virus occurs in nature. But they were removed because your government's looking out for you. And now we get to the truth. The House subcommittee just this month confirmed it came from a lab.
Whoops. How many years later?
Hey, does that change how we handle COVID? Hey, let me ask you this. Does that change how we handle COVID if we know that it could have been bioengineered? Does it change the fact that the media said Donald Trump was a racist when he called it the China virus? In other words, at that point in time, would you be less concerned with him pointing the finger at China, which I don't even know how that's racist, and more concerned with the nation, an adversarial nation who potentially engineered it and released it? Do you think it changes not only perception, but the next step we take moving forward? That's why the press, when they do the bidding of the government, is the enemy of a free and informed people. Another claim as it relates to COVID, right? They just insisted at this point in time that lockdowns were needed to stop the spread of COVID. And so many people believe this. Even conservatives were calling me when we did 2-a-days during the lockdown saying, you can't do that. It's irresponsible. Everyone's going to die. I was like, I'll chance it.
He loves us.
Yeah.
He really loves us.
And he only lost 4 people.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
But there were 4 that I wanted to lose. So, and this is all under trust the science, the science. And the science went from this likely came from a bat sandwich at a wet market to this can live on surfaces. Remember, everyone was sanitizing their packages.
UPS packages? Come on.
UPS packages. Pickleball became popular because literally they would keep pickleball courts open in Nevada because you could clean the ball and you couldn't clean a tennis ball.
Okay.
That's a big reason that pickleball became very popular. That's how crazy we were at that point in time. It was all trust the science. Then trust the science went to, and of course we have to lock down. Of course we have to shut down businesses, and we have to shut down local markets, but keep Walmarts and keep Costco's open. We have to shut down plant nurseries, but keep weed shops open in Michigan. Right? This was all trust the science. The lockdowns. That is science. And let me tell you this too. You know when I really knew it was BS? Was when Fauci said, "Don't try and make hand sanitizer at home," because it doesn't work with liquor at home. And I said it on the show. I said, no, what he means to say is it doesn't work if it's vodka, if it's 40% alcohol, because you need about 60% alcohol. Hey, guess what? You can buy Everclear, or you can buy cask strength bourbon and dilute it to 60% alcohol. And then what happened when we needed more sanitizer? Guess where it came from? Distilleries. I told you this when Fauci came out and said, you cannot make hand sanitizer at home. I said, yep, I'm not a scientist. Showed you the science. As long as you have 60% alcohol and some way to create friction here, you will be able to use it as a sanitizer. I wasn't a scientist. Trust the science. And these same guys said lockdown. Hey, you think it would have helped you if you could have gone and purchased some alcohol and made hand sanitizer at that point in time? Maybe. Here's the truth. We now know that authorities knew at that time when they were telling you this, lockdowns were going to be catastrophic. They would hurt the economy. They would hurt our health, first and foremost, and school children, and that it had no actual effect on the spread. We know that now. They knew it then. They knew it then. The science knew it then. They certainly knew the ramifications. They certainly knew the negative outcomes. They didn't know that it would have no effect. They knew it would probably have a negligible effect. They did it anyway. Hope it was worth it. For those of you who have children who didn't go to school for 2 years, you're just conspiracy theory. We need adults in the room. Right, Colbert? And by the way, you know how you know it's true? not just the sources, the empirical that we provide for you, but yeah, in this case, the anecdotal is also quite substantiating. The Varma story that we covered. Remember, he was the COVID architect in New York. He was locking people down. You and your children couldn't go to school while he was having sex parties and strong-arming everyone to get vaccinated.
I actually was the one who convinced the mayor to make it a mandate.
Like, New York City found out that you were having sex parties during COVID?
Yeah, it would have been a big deal. Yeah, it would have been real bad. We went to some, like, underground, like, dance party, like, underneath a bank in Wall Street. And we were all rolling, we were all taking Molly, and everybody's high. And I was so happy, because I hadn't done that in, like, a year and a half, like, a year or whatever. And but I was looking around being like, I wonder if anybody sees me looking differently. Because this was not COVID friendly. So the way we do it in public health is we make it very uncomfortable to be unvaccinated. I don't expect the education to change your behavior. I'm just going to make it really hard for you to do your job. You can't get a job. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to school. It's like, okay, I'm just going to get vaccinated.
So was it technically, like, kind of forcing people?
Yeah, that's what you force people by making it really uncomfortable.
And who knows the level of STDs at those Varma sex parties. Luckily, it was all actually documented on camera. That makes sense. That makes double sense.
I never hold a glass like that. That's not true.
That's where they got their Molly. Keep rolling.
Sensing a theme.
And we all had to live through this. We all had to. COVID is probably the biggest awakening that I've seen in the public. Here's one to me that is absolutely insane that no one is talking about more. This is number 2. The claim. And you see this a lot, and people just accept it. I will say this. This one is so pervasive that it's actually the premise of how we run government. We absolutely need every dollar that we spend right now. There's nothing we can sacrifice. What do you want to do? You don't want roads? You don't want firefighting services? What, you don't want a military? That's what you hear if ever you go, hey, is there any way that we could trim anything back? It seems like our debt's kind of ballooning here. They tell you every single dime that we have now, we absolutely need, and we need more. That's the claim.
Oh, which one is it? Oh, there we go.
Yes, indeed, the goose is getting fat. We have a big bill here because we have big needs for our country.
For the well-being of our troops, for the preservation of our national security, for the tens of millions of Americans who look to the federal government for a wide range of basic services, Democrats and Republicans must work together to fully fund the federal government.
For our country, Madam Speaker, and our communities in the long term, Congress must enact an omnibus funding package.
Oh, okay. Well, we need that money. That's always what you
Gotta
hear.
have it. Oh, yeah.
Well, do you believe in roads?
For the children.
Then you believe in socialism.
Yeah.
Here's the truth. Okay? Not only do they not need all those dollars, but the new Government Accountability Office report, okay? This is not in doubt. The only portion that's in debate is how bad it is in any given year. But at the bare minimum, in any given year, the amount of fraud, meaning money that we have no idea where it is, how it's been used, or where to track it. $233 billion to $500 billion a year just from 2018 to 2023 alone.
That's just federally too, isn't it?
Yep. Let's round it. $400 billion a year. This is like ghost money. I'm not saying people are going, oh, it looks like maybe actually this wasn't used appropriately. Money that can't actually be tracked. We don't know where it is. So let's call that $400 billion. Hey, you don't think that just starting with that, we could trim $1.5 trillion easily from the budget? That would be a gimme. Just bring forward the shrimp on a treadmill and that kind of shit. All of that. Bring it forward. $500 billion? We don't know where it is?
That's insane.
Do you have any idea what you are paying in taxes? Picture all of your taxes. Just disappeared. You think, I pay my taxes. Great, it's gone. Now, it's gone. $500 billion a year. And they want us to believe that we absolutely cannot do without 100% of this budget. It's not a conspiracy. This is unilaterally agreed upon and proven. And to me, that's probably the worst one just because that's the basis of our government. When we sit down and have a vote, it's how much more are we going to spend? Very rarely cut.
Yeah. It's not even including waste, like projects that we shouldn't be spending money on.
No, just strictly fraud.
That's somebody defrauding us. That's us going, oops, lost the money. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Like that is absolutely insane. So I'm really glad for Doge, Elon Musk, and Vivek. Like they're probably going to find, what did he say? He wanted to cut a couple $1 trillion from the budget?
Yeah.
I think with $500 billion as a starting point.
And people like Colbert go, this is clown world. We need some adults. I thought we needed some adults when we lost $500 billion this year. It's gone. Where are the adults? You're the adult.
They bought islands.
How do you fix it? The gaslighting that takes place. Yeah. They want you to believe, this is absurd. Here's the number one for me. And it's hard for me. There really isn't a claim because this was just buried. Right. And this is a fact that has actually been apologized for on behalf of our government. But when I heard this, I was kind of embarrassed that I didn't know about this. And I'd love for you to comment when you see this, if you did. You probably do if you watch this program. But I didn't for a long time, until the mid-2000s. Let's just go with the truth, I guess, at this point. The United States government, conducted experiments on Guatemalans by knowingly allowing 5,000 Guatemalans to contract STDs and withholding treatment. They did this in 1946. And part of the way they spread this was by putting prostitutes into the prison system in Guatemala. Put prostitutes in there, ensured that STDs would spread across Guatemala, and withheld treatment just to see what would happen.
A White House bioethics commission has revealed gruesome new details about American-run venereal disease experiments on unsuspecting Guatemalans from 1946 to 48. The testing focused on sexually transmitted diseases and involved U.S. medical officials intentionally infecting Guatemalan sex workers, prisoners, soldiers, mental patients without their permission in order to study the effects of penicillin. The New York Times reports, quote, when some of the men failed to become infected through sex, the bacteria were poured into scrapes made on the penises or faces or even injected by spinal puncture.
Geez. And you can go and look at the record. Barack Obama apologized for this in 2010. I believe that Hillary Clinton apologized for it even earlier than that. This happened. Does that make you question your government a little bit, their humanity? They gave Guatemalans STDs and then encouraged them to have lots of sex. Luckily, it was all documented on camera. Yep.
Come on.
Oh, man.
Guys.
Gerald.
And I know what you're thinking, well, Guatemala, who cares? I don't know if you know this. The United States, they did this to Americans, too. An STD experiment in Tuskegee, Alabama. This is in 1932. Your government deliberately lied to 600, at least, black men about treating them for syphilis just to study the effects of untreated syphilis. So they withheld medication from over 600 black men just to see what syphilis does to the human body. And in case you don't believe me, believe Bill Clinton in 1997, who apologized for this experiment on our own people.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Sorry, right clip. Here's him apologizing.
On behalf of the American people, what the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry.
I guess that covers it.
Tuskegee.
Oh, whoops.
I think it's okay though. We did let those guys fly.
Yes.
So we made it up.
Yes,
to
it did.
Sorry about all the what did we give them? Sexual disease. Yeah,
Syphilis.
that's our bad.
Yeah, syphilis.
Yeah. Sorry about the syphilis. Here's an airplane.
And it's not that this was never a conspiracy, but it is to me because the media never covered it. Can you imagine? Well, people are talking about George W. Bush and Katrina. Remember, George Bush does not care about black people. Talking about how your government isn't looking out for you. And by the way, I agree in a lot of cases. Why wasn't this shouted from the rooftops everywhere? How many of you know this? Check the references. That to me is as evil as it almost gives credence to the other dictators or fascists or totalitarians across the globe who go, "Oh, you think your government's so good?"
Yeah.
You go, "Yeah. We've done a lot of crap." And that doesn't mean that every single person in government is bad, but for this to have taken place and then for you to be blamed for being mistrusting of them, I think you should be as mistrusting of every institution as humanly possible. Why? Because it's 2024 and any other position would be illogical. A bonus conspiracy And this is one that just dawned on me last night and has been eating at me, which brings me to double secret coincidences. And he was going to be on the show here today, Mr. Alex Jones, a friend of the show. But I wonder if he couldn't be on the show today because of a legal call, an emergency legal call that he had to get on, or because he was too busy acting in the American classic A Christmas Story.
Move it a little bit to the right. Yeah, that way. Just a little more to the right. Yeah, more. That's it, though. Stop right there. That's wonderful. Hey, Parker, what is that?
He's wearing a Cartman hat, too. That's fantastic.
You got that Christmas Story money, don't you?
That's the thing. I don't know. I've always defended him. I don't think he's a grifter, but he's getting... The right hand knows not what the left hand is something doing.
He got himself a leg.
He's got a union card. That guy. I don't know where else he's been, but that is him in A Christmas Story. I have no doubt about it. And it makes me very skeptical of any of his claims as we move forward. No, not everything's a conspiracy, right? We know that. Not everything's really a conspiracy. But I do think that a healthy skepticism of government is good. I don't just think it's a good idea. I think it's necessary.
Yeah, I think when someone in a place of power says, trust me, I think you should be skeptical.
No, you say no. You don't say yes. Yeah. You don't just say I'm skeptical. You just no.
How about no?
Absolutely not. How about you prove to me that you're not?
It can be followed by two questions that are most effective. Yeah, trust me. Why? Well, because I have a degree, because I'm an epidemiologist and whatever. And then your next question. So the first question is why. The next question is, so? They don't have an answer. Trust me. I've been in the room with these. They do not have an answer.
Trust me.
Wait, no. I can't trust you. I can. Will you provide sources?
No, but don't trust me.
Trust the
sources. Trust the references.
There we go.
Right. I wouldn't trust anyone out there who doesn't provide the references to you every single day. Every claim they are making. I mean, we used to do that. Think about it. We went from school when we were kids where you had a bibliography, where you had references. And you were actually, I don't know if you had to do this in school. I was taught how to actually check references, how to cross-reference, right? And then when it comes to media, the press, when it comes to government making claims, we don't do that anymore. Nah. We do it to find out how the little bug went ka-choo when I'm in the second grade, but not when we're just supposed to trust you on the single biggest violation of fundamental human rights in the United States in the form of lockdowns and vaccine mandates. Wait, you're not going to provide me with anything? And you're going to remove the voices of people who are? Yeah, I certainly think that when we're at that point and someone says, trust me, the answer is why? A list of qualifications. So, especially when it comes to science. Science is not governed by consensus. It is governed by what is correct. There can be consensus that the earth is flat. And if one person is right, that's the science.
It's like the creepy elf from Polar Express at the end when the kid wants his present and he goes, give it to me, trust me. I'm like, I don't think I trust this golem.
No. I don't remember that person in Polar Express.
Oh, yeah, because you probably blocked it out of your mind.
Did I?
Yeah, it's disturbing.
There's a troll person in Polar
little
Express?
Elves, little hobo elves. They're weird. Yeah.
Are they bad?
It's an odd movie.
No, they're not bad. It's just that it was that time where the animation was like really weird.
They're just sketchy slaves.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, we do have that Alex Jones clip before we go to Rumble Premium Mug Club.
Oh, and by the way, hey, the one thing I want to say on CNN right now, Hegseth meets with 3 Trump critics on Capitol Hill. How many of these people confirmed people like Merrick Garland? Can we cross-reference the critics, the people who are holding out on Hegseth? Not saying he's perfect. How many of them confirmed all kinds of liberal appointments, right? That's anyone who's done that, I'm done with those people. How about that? That's where I am at this point. So this is a clip from Alex Jones during the trial where Alex Jones simply could not help himself. He was very disciplined. This is just one of those clips that I find to be hysterical every time I watch it.
There's going to be an objection. Can I get my questions out? When it's the same form, second time, the inference is it's going to also be objected.
I didn't say Parkland was fake. I didn't say Uvalde was. And no,